Today, we're diving into the wines of two Portuguese archipelagos way out in the middle of the Atlantic, Madeira and the Azores. These places are incredible, born from volcanoes, surrounded by the sea, and they produce some of the most unique wines you'll ever taste. So let's get into it and see what makes them so special.
You know, a sommelier really put it perfectly saying, Mergelhar nos vinhos das Ilhas Portuguesas, e embarcar numa viagem sensorial. And that translates to, diving into the wines of the Portuguese islands is to embark on a sensory journey. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to explore two totally distinct wine personalities that, believe it or not, come from the exact same dramatic origins.
So what's the connection between these two island wine families? Well, it all boils down to their shared parentage, you could say, the volcano and the sea. And that combination creates a really challenging but truly one-of-a-kind environment for growing grapes.
This gets us to the key idea of oceanic terroir. Let's break that down. First up, you've got these volcanic soils that are just packed with minerals, and that gives the wines this signature minerality, like a smoky or flinty kind of note. Then there's the Atlantic Ocean. It acts like this giant temperature regulator, but it also brings high humidity and these constant salty winds that the vines literally have to battle. And finally, and this part is so cool, that sea spray actually seasons the grapes, leaving this distinct salty taste you can often find especially in the white wines from the Azores.
So even though they share the same oceanic terroir, the wines from Madeira and the Azores are like two siblings who are polar opposites. One is this timeless, fortified legend, the other is a fresh, modern upstart. Let's meet the older sibling first.
All right, first stop, Madeira. It's an island that's world famous for its fortified wine, and I mean, this stuff isn't just a drink, it's liquid history. It's known for its absolutely incredible ability to age for centuries. The secret to Madeira was actually discovered by accident, which is always the best kind of story, right? Back in the age of discovery, ships would load up barrels of this wine for long journeys, and sailors noticed that the wine didn't just survive the trip to the hot tropics. The intense heat and the constant rocking of the boat actually made it better. It developed these complex, nutty, caramelized flavors. This happy accident then inspired winemakers to figure out how to recreate those conditions right there on the island.
The complexity of Madeira really comes from its four noble grapes. Each one represents a different style, moving from the driest to the sweetest. You start with Cercial, which is bone-dry, super high in acidity, and makes a fantastic aperitif. Then you've got Verdelho, a little richer, a bit smokier. Boal is where things get richer, bringing in these delicious caramel and raisin notes in a medium-sweet style. And at the top you have Malvasia. Wow, this is intensely sweet, opulent. It's basically a dessert in a glass.
So how do they get that cooked character now that they aren't sending every barrel on a world tour? Well, they have two main methods. The extufaging method is kind of like a sauna for the wine. They heat it in big vats for about 3 months to quickly mimic that long sea voyage. But the Cantero method, that's the true art form. The barrels are aged naturally, just sitting in the warm attics of the wineries for decades, or even centuries, slowly developing this incredible depth. It's what makes Madeira wine practically indestructible.
Okay, now let's meet the other sibling, the Azores. And if Madeira is all about history and oxidation, the Azores is a complete 180. This is all about a modern comeback defined by fresh, vibrant, non-fortified white wines and some of the most dramatic-looking vineyards you will ever see.
The winemaking here is often called heroic viticulture. And honestly, that is not an exaggeration. The conditions are so extreme. You've got rocky, volcanic soil, harsh winds, salty air, that just getting grapes to grow here at all is a monumental achievement.
This right here, this is what heroic looks like. These are the carrés on the island of Pico. To protect the vines, generations of growers built this incredible labyrinth of black volcanic stone walls. The walls act like little bodyguards, shielding the plants from the wind and salt. Plus, the dark basalt rock soaks up the sun's heat and reflects it back on the grapes, helping them ripen. This entire landscape is so unique, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
So what do these wines actually taste like? Well, first off, forget fortified. Think crisp, dry, vibrant whites. The key grapes are local varieties like Jacinto Açores and Terroirs do Pico, and the experience of drinking it, it's electric. You get this super high acidity, a sharp volcanic minerality, and a finish that tastes unmistakably of the sea. It is literally the taste of the Atlantic in a bottle. Okay, so we've met both siblings. Now let's put them side by side to really drive home how different their personalities are, even though they share those same volcanic and oceanic roots. Let's just do a quick compare and contrast. Madeira is primarily fortified, defined by that oxidative, heat-age process that creates those rich, caramelized flavors. The Azores, on the other hand, are all about fresh, non-fortified dry whites with that mineral, saline kick. Even the vineyards look totally different. Madeira has these steep terraces called socalcos, carved into the mountains, while the Azores has those unique stone-walled currais on flatter volcanic land. So yeah, same parents, totally different paths in life.
So what's next for these island wines? As more and more wine lovers are looking for something unique, something authentic, with a real sense of place, the future for both Madeira and the Azores looks incredibly bright.
Their path forward is really built on 4 key pillars. Wine tourism, or enotourism, is a massive opportunity. I mean, who wouldn't want to visit these stunning vineyard landscapes? Sustainability is absolutely crucial to protect these historic and very fragile environments. Then there's innovation, finding that perfect balance between ancient traditions and modern techniques. And finally, global recognition is on the rise, because people are actively searching for exactly what these islands offer: authentic, terroir-driven wines made from grapes you just can't find anywhere else. And that brings us to our final thought. In a global market that can sometimes feel dominated by the same handful of grapes and styles, these wines from the edge of the Atlantic offer something completely different. They're a testament to resilience, to history, and to the profound impact of place. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In a world of sometimes uniform wines, is the future of wine found not in the biggest vineyards, but right there, on the edge of a volcano?